Everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. And let's do it right because we are armchair traveling in Russia. Yes. So, Privyet. Now, everyone, I am so honored today. It is my final adventure as we armchair travel through Russia. And everyone knows dance is an important part of my life. And I get to speak today to Paulina, who is the Canadian Latin dance champion. And let me tell you, this is going to be an interesting, exciting, caliente conversation. Paulina, thank you so much. Hello.
Thank you for having me, Tammie. Big pleasure and honor for me.
Well, I have to say hello to my dance instructor, Vlad, because I'm supposed to say Privyet Kakdila.
Wow, he's such a good teacher. Vlad, you're amazing.
I love him. Well, Paulina, can you talk to me about your journey? Like, when did you know that you wanted to be a dancer, a competitive dancer?
Tammie, I think it happened straight away. It was love at first sight. I was brought into the dance class before I started school. So we started school at the age of 7.
Mm.
I was brought before that. So I'm guessing maybe age of 6-ish. And I knew like I'm gonna be honest, I was doing pretty well. So maybe that's what decided the fate. And then I thought, why not become a professional, become an instructor? And it just snowballs into bigger things.
Wow. And has it always been your love for Latin, or have you done other dances, ballroom, waltz as well?
I see you love waltz. I see. Okay. Yes. In Russia, it's a general practice. We do ten dance, which is the ballroom section and the Latin section together. So slow waltz or English waltz, they call it, tango, foxtrot, Viennese waltz, quick step. Then on top of that, you add samba, cha cha, rumba, paso doble, and jive. Bang, the 10 dances. And then when I was at the university,
Mm.
I switched focus a little bit into group dancing. We had a group of girls, like all of us were like very fit and like good dancers,
Yes,
very shy, you know. All of us were amazing dancers,
absolutely.
fabulous. And we were doing competitively aerobics. So
Okay.
that's just, some kind of a disco thing was going on. I was just practicing how to do it in a group. Then I was trying some bit of cheerleading and hip hop.
Okay.
So, yeah, and all along we were doing a little bit of ballet. I did a bit of contemporary dancing, Vogue dancing, so many styles just not to get bored. Flamenco, like everything you can imagine.
Yes.
Think.
No, you know what? I love what you said there because we tried for one of our group performances a little bit of hip hop. One of my other dance sisters, Donna, does ballet as well. And I feel it just helps us to become more well-rounded dancers. And you pick a little bit of style and a little bit of technique from one dance and you could apply it and improve, right?
You see, you know the thing. That's exactly how it's happening. That's for sure.
And
I
is that
think
how you
one
came to?
helps another. Sorry.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
not
I
at
think
all.
the principles are the same. So the principles I'm learning in Latin, I can apply them to hip hop, vice versa. I go to a ballet class, then I go to my Latin practice straight after, and I'm thinking, aha,
Mm,
this is what I wasn't doing. And it happened to me with, I went to take some drum lesson, like drumming,
yeah.
from my friend. He's professional. He's in a band, but like heavy metal, like
Mhm.
something out of this world for me. And I went for the lesson. He taught me how to drum samba,
Oh,
and I was like, that's what my teachers were telling me all along. Now I got it.
and it takes a while, because I think I'm gonna call on Vlad's name. Vlad worked on me for with me for weeks. on
Okay.
maybe I think we're doing the outside step. I'm sorry, Vlad. Probably one of the most struggling, hardest things we had to do was the outside step. And you're right. It was when I was learning something completely different. It might be in, I was trying to practice the Landler for Germany. And I'm like, oh, that's what he was trying to say. You're like, your neck has to go back and you know what? And it all came together, but it takes time and it's these little incremental steps that
Exactly.
move you forward. Nice.
But
Well,
look, like we're talking now, it's a balance of who's active, who's passive. It's your turn to talk, it's my turn to talk. Your turn to be passive, my turn to be active. Same in dancing. We're still learning how to dance.
exactly. Oh, woo, let's preach. Well, on that note, let me share some of Paulina's performances. I chose two. Now, there is a wide range of her talent. It is beautiful, but these are two that I thought gave us a good balance between showcase, what I call it, and competitive. Let's give it a look. Go. So this would be a rumba.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, isn't that absolutely dreamlike and gorgeous? Oh, your lines, your points, your toes, your expression is absolutely beautiful. What do you feel when you dance in a performance like that?
Firstly, thank you so much, Tammie. Thank you so, so much for your wonderful compliments. So, what I feel is I'm on stage and thousands and thousands of angels are in my audience. And when I just hear the music, I absorb it with my ears. I take a breath of it. It's going down my veins. I can feel it. And all those angels, they gather and they lift me up to the sky and they keep going until they say, bow. And we bow. And I go off the floor and I'm a normal human again.
Isn't that something? You know what? I always said that when you get in that, let's call it zone, because runners call it a zone. It's almost like an out of body experience where you feel like sometimes I would feel like I'm watching myself. Now I'm nowhere level of a world champion, but for that little split second where you let go and you feel, it's almost like flying, you know?
Fully agree with you. What do you feel when you dance?
Mm. Now it depends on the style of dance. You know, I try to feel the emotion of the music. So there is a performance, for example, we just saw a rumba, and I always tell my partner, I'm going to fall in love with you for that 2 minutes that we're dancing. I want to feel all the love of and this the emotion. Sometimes you feel goosebumps going through your veins as you just envelop that. And then when you dance, I try to, I've practiced all the steps. I've gone through everything that I can do to learn the technique. So it's just about letting go and feeling and just flying and floating. That's what I feel. It's almost like I'm on clouds.
I love this. You know what? But you are nothing like together with your partner, aren't you?
I'm sorry?
You're not together with your partner in real
No,
life.
no, it is. And let me tell you, it is acting.
Exactly, we are actors.
We,
I think I was suggesting how to edit your Christmas performance. I saw your partner actually.
okay.
Uh, That was Rumba.
It was a Roomba.
Yeah. And I asked Vlad and Alex, I was like, are they together?
Did you think we were together?
Well, I had this question, yeah.
Oh, you see what? I'm going
Yeah.
to tell Chris about that because I always say to him just before we perform, look at me, love me. I don't care who you love after this, but for this 2 minutes, you are mine.
That's so fun.
Nice. Well, let me show the showcase clip as well, because that is a completely different feel. And it's no, this is what when you look for caliente in the dictionary, this is what you'll see.
Oh, thanks.
Whew. Oh, my goodness.
Oh yeah,
We
and
woo,
the jacket comes off.
woo.
That was the plan. I'm actually wearing it on purpose, so I'm taking it off.
Okay. We're getting that kind of no, I'm just playing. No. Isn't that amazing? So that's a completely different feel, right? And what was this performance?
Well, this one is obviously in the lockdown.
Oh,
You know, we're using the stage that you have just on the ground floor,
yes.
on the parking floor. Um, we were making it for one of the competitions
Mhm.
as a showcase, and we thought, why not try change the scenery a little bit?
Yes.
Um, and we had this kind of rock and roll mood in mind for the clothes, like a little bit of like ballroom rebel kind of feel.
Mhm.
And the music just gets me going. The music just inspires me so much. And we thought we have those, is it called tubes in English? The metal things?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, tubes.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so we thought, okay, we're gonna drum on it because this is what we hear in the song. So we
Okay.
practiced drumming a little bit over
Yes.
there and we combined the songs. Like the drumming part really excites me, and the song itself is just makes me fly, as you said, just
Mm.
floating in space. And I love this. It's a combo. Like we wanted to go a little bit more wild and a little bit unconventional. Like you see my partner also not wearing the dance shoes.
Right.
I thought for me I should, just because this makes your legs look longer. So
All the tricks, all the tricks.
yep. So this is the only reason, you know. Yeah, we thought
No,
we'll go a bit more casual with the outfits and see what happens.
it was beautiful. As I said, like we could probably just watch your performances and that'll be the whole show. But this one excited me because, dance isn't just, on a competition floor. Like you could take our dance steps and we could do things that are social. We can create, we can go into a parking lot and still dance. And that's a type of art form and creation. And I love that inspiration and where you took that, right?
This is something I like in the lockdown itself. Like,
Mm,
um, I'm guilty. A year ago, before the lockdown, I had an interview where I said, they asked me what your dream was, what my dream was. I said it was to have a free time to just listen to your favorite music and dance to it. And here we
right.
go. Now you're in your room listening to your favorite music and dancing to it the whole day through. So maybe it happened just because I was dreaming about
Is
it.
that right? You
But honestly, you don't need anything to dance,
No.
don't you? You don't need anything. You need your body. That's it. Even if you wouldn't have music, you just sing. Just imagine the music. Just dance to the raindrops. Just
Mm,
express, right? Or just breathe and feel and let it flow. That's it.
it's
Like this
true.
is everything we need for dancing, and then it doesn't matter the scenery, what the scenery is.
Have you always, no, you started dancing at 6. Now, what was practice like for you, when you were a child growing up? Like, were you just excited to go and dance, or were you had to motivate yourself? Like, how do you do that?
Well, this is a nice question, actually, a bit complex, because that was tough. Like, um, we are getting quite a strict treatment in the former USSR countries, I guess,
Hmm.
discipline wise. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter what you do. And dancing is such field, unless you're physically put into the positions that are not natural to the body, right? Like, why in the world would you do an extension like that? Why, right? So, how a kid is supposed to learn it, their teacher just physically grab them sometimes and they extend and they push your shoulders down. Um, I remember the exercise that were done to us quite on a daily basis was called Moscow, because I'm from like a very little town,
Hmm.
and the teacher grabs your head, stretches you up, lifts you off the floor,
Okay.
and you're supposed to see Moscow. That's why it's called Moscow. Like they lift you up
Okay.
so high you can see Moscow. So sometimes it's gonna be kind of physical methods, which I'm not a big fan of right now as an adult, but maybe you wouldn't learn otherwise. I don't know. I don't know. So instead of being outside socializing with other kids and having fun, you're constantly at this dance class where discipline matters, where you just teaching your body what is first position, teaching your body how to put your arms in the right position and not a millimeter higher or lower. And that's, to me, that's tough. That's tough. And you wouldn't really have time to like have your own free time for hobbies or stuff like that, or like meeting your friends again. And and it's all the way through. You're a kid, it's like that. You're a teenager, it's like that. You're an adult, it's like that. you know
Yeah.
so this is one side of it.
Mm.
Another side is it becomes your life, so it becomes fun for you.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a balance.
And then your other, like, I call them my dance sisters, but I can imagine the women that, or the students that you danced with, became your friends. They became your family, almost.
You see, Tammy, in competitive dancing, I wish that would be 100% true.
No.
Um, in some cases, it happens, but there are so many cases where you can't be like honest, sincere friend with someone you compete against.
Sure.
Yeah, just this element sometimes spoils the atmosphere, kind of.
There is a movie like that. It'll come back to me probably at 3 o'clock this morning. That's the case.
Okay.
But there was a
Okay.
movie about that. I feel like the lady from Hunger Games. What was her name? Mm. But anyways, it was about Russia, and she was a ballerina,
Oh, the
and
Red Sparrow.
thank you, the Red
Yeah.
Sparrow, and there was that competitiveness that became violent. And not to say that all relationships are like that, but it gave you sort of a glimpse that when you're competing, it's not always, as you said, maybe as easy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not 100% friendly with everybody. One solution is just compete in different categories.
sure.
Then you're becoming like truthful, honest, great friends. Once we have this, I'm sure you're aware there is subdivision into like amateur dancers,
Yeah.
professional dancers, and amateurs decide when to turn pro in their own time. So I have seen that in other couples when before they turn professionals, they are friends with other professionals. Once they announce they turned pro, something, appears, like some barrier appears between those people. I
Now,
just noticing that.
you're just noticing that. But like as adults, how do you get past that? Is it just, you have the same energy that meets someone else, or do you have, how can you get past that? Do you have any advice about that, or any thoughts about that? I'm just
Oh, for
curious.
sure. I think, like, to me, dancing is quite such a subjective field, right?
Mm,
Subjective, especially judged. You can't control it, and it's not your job to control it.
mm, mm,
And it's not your fault if you danced better and you won, right?
mhm.
So you just have to focus on the subjectivity of it and not get upset if someone beats you. But Tammie, it has to be mutual. It has to be on both sides. Like your competitor has to have the same attitude and you too, then it works. Then you can have the time of your life together.
I was talking to Alex about this because I just finished my very first competition. I was so excited.
Congratulations. Which one?
Thank you. I did standard and Latin, so we did the ultimate dance challenge, and I
Oh,
was
yes, a great
so
one.
excited. I was so excited. But we were
You did
talking
good.
about that. Thank you. We were talking about it, and I said to her, I will give it my 150%. For that minute and a half, I'll give it everything I have. And I'm only competing with myself, really. And if I give it 100% and someone else gives it 100% and, the judges judge accordingly, that's fine because I know I gave it my 100%. But I'm not going to make it easy, I'll tell you that.
No, but then it means that everybody won. If
Yeah,
you push to your 150% and the other person, you're both winners.
exactly. Exactly.
Congratulations, that's cool.
Yay! I
Did
broke
you
the
watch the
seal.
streaming?
What's that?
Did you watch the
I
streaming?
tried to. I saw the back clips of it, and it was my first time, and so I didn't understand the concept of a heat. So when so when Alex said you go to your heat and you could see the time, I'm like, I didn't know what that meant. So all I did was I knew that I was supposed to perform at 12 o'clock or 12:40, and so I went at 12:40 looking and couldn't find. No, no, came at 12:49, so I missed it. I just didn't understand that everyone had a specific time within that with that time. So, but it's okay. It was, as I said, it's one of those things where it's past. You know what I mean? You gave it your moment. That was a moment in time. And because of Tea Time with Tammie, I'm always moving forward to the next thing. And so that's past. So it's forward movement. And so for me, I watched the clip and I'm proud of it. But then that was yesterday. It's Paulina today.
That's exactly that was yesterday. Oh my God. Congratulations.
Thank
Nice.
you. Thank
So
you.
you're getting ready for your new one?
That's what we think. We think we're gonna get ready for the next one. We have a showcase performance that we were preparing for before the competition. So Milonga,
Oh my God. Wow.
I loved it. So Vlad and I have to record that one. So I have my dress that has a full slit up the sides. So I'm gonna harness my inner sexy for that.
Love this attitude.
Right.
So,
As I said, we put on different characters as we need to.
wow.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about your proudest moment in your career so far. What's, if you had to think of one?
So Tammie, that was like a very, very special to me. Um, um, I would think, looking back, you'd think, oh, I achieved this, I achieved that. And you would name some final that you made that you were dreaming of, or some first place that you were dreaming of. But no, I moved to Canada 7 years ago
Mm,
and was far from my family for all this time. And there was one time that we competed in Russia. So
mm,
usually we'd compete in Canada, in the USA, sometimes somewhere in Europe. And one of competitions we went for in St. Petersburg, just because we went to England to compete. So we thought also we'll go to St. Petersburg. It's quite closer, and my family made it. Yeah, and my mom came, my aunt came, and my cousin came. I have a little, well, he's not little anymore. I had a little cousin. So the room was packed. Um, and in on the other continent, you're not so known, so for someone to support you,
Mm.
and you know that audience was a little bit different from what we're getting in North America. North American audience sometimes is like a jungle. They're like wildly supporting you. You're exchanging energy. You go like they just boost you so much. They just you feed off them and you perform. That audience I didn't find quite so wild,
Mhm.
but just knowing that your family is watching gives you such unexplainable support. Like you just feel this is the time of your life and you're doing the best you.
Mhm.
Um, and I really regret we only went for one competition like that. And oh my God, my family was just so nice. We made the final in that competition. And again, the room is packed. Like you can't move, you can't have a seat. Like they couldn't have a seat. But my cousin, and then followed by my mom and my aunt also, is practically lying on the floor with the phone trying to videograph us
Oh.
and just pushing everybody, just making it happen. And
Yeah.
I have like so many videos from that comp, like from every round, all the dress changes and everything, the photos. And I do realize it's such a support you're not getting from anything else. So I'd say this is the highlight, although like result wise it wasn't anything special.
No, but that moment though, that's something that you would share with them. And, you know, sometimes it's not the results. I always say, like, it's not the outcome, it's the journey and that story. That story of your family being able to see you perform and then you performing not just for the judges, you're performing for them. You know what I mean? And probably all of the times you had to take you to dance practice and all of it all culminates into this one moment in time. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank
Thank you.
you. Спасибо.
Oh,
Спасибо.
спасибо, как дела?
Now, today I was learning about some other ballroom, Russian ballroom dances. Now, I can't quite pronounce them really well, but there's one that's a Russian lyrical and Korovod. It's a folk dance. Can you tell me a little bit more about the other styles of like dance, like the folk dances that they have in Russia?
Okay, so you're getting an insight of the real cultural thing. So horovod is when a bunch of people is forming a circle and they all hold hands,
Okay.
and you have to walk around, and there would be something in the middle, you know. There should be something religious in the middle, the
Ah,
fire, or a person, or we just had the Russian Mardi Gras.
Maslenitsa.
Maslenitsa, you're so cultured already. Why am I even asking? Why are
No.
you even asking me? So, on Maslenitsa, you make like basically a doll
Yeah.
that you have to burn, which has got a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
So you horovod around it.
Okay. Yes.
So this is something you would do on like every old celebration,
Yeah.
any traditional celebration of Russian.
I love that. See, now this is why I love to talk to people. On Tea Time with Tammie, I try to talk to someone who is from the country because all week I spend learning about different traditions. So I had a day where I learned about Maslenitsa. So I made my own Maslenitsa doll.
Oh yes, did you burn it?
It was -9 degrees outside, Polina. We weren't going outside for that. This is still Canada. I had sparklers though.
We do it in like -20.
Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. I'm still an island girl in my blood. In my
Okay, I got it. This is why weather is not getting better because the doll represents winter.
I know. So
You
I know.
have to burn the winter down.
I know. I figured as soon as it gets a little bit, a couple more degrees, I'm gonna call my friend and see if I can borrow the backyard. Well, we're in lockdown now, so I don't know when that's going to happen. But but I love that because I get to talk with you, and when you say things like that, I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's the whole point of
You know
Tea Time
what
with
though,
Tammie.
Tammy? I read your blini menu and I'm disappointed you didn't have any with salmon or caviar.
What do you mean? I
You
had
did blini.
I
Oh,
I did. I had a
oh,
salmon with caviar and sour cream. Yes, I did.
oh, I truly apologize for it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's
It must
okay.
have been hidden in some other name, I guess.
Maybe, but I'm telling you, that was actually my favorite one. This is why I have to put it down. That was I don't think I've had red caviar. It was delicious.
I love it. Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Well, anyways, other types of Russian folk dancing um, reminds you of tap dance,
oh,
reminds you of flamenco a little bit. This is weird how many dances in the culture that are coming from way before they're so similar.
yeah,
Whenever people couldn't communicate that well, right? Like now you can learn flamenco by just browsing.
sure.
You don't have to go to Spain. But back then, those dances are so similar. Like the part of Russian folk dancing is this tapping,
Hmm.
which is like basically tap, or basically flamenco it is. But it's combined with a lot of jumps, a lot of like physically hard things, squats, so you're getting your muscles really pumped. This is how you're staying healthy. Take a little bit of caviar, salmon, then squats, jump, and you're healthy, So this type of dancing. Oh, one thing I'm not sure you know about it or not
No?
yet is jumping over the fire,
Okay.
because this is something you combine with laser hair removal. No, but seriously, there is a tradition. I think it's kind of a challenge. Like now we
Okay.
have ice bucket challenge, the 10-year before challenge, the
Right.
all these challenges. The challenges before used to be jump over the fire and not get burned.
Well, what is that part of Maslenitsa? Is at the end when they've burnt the doll that you jump over it? Is that what happens?
Yeah, and I must not be mistaken, but it's combined with dancing. So it's all
Oh,
like going to the music, and everyone is like cheering for you whenever you're doing the jump. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that sounds okay. So maybe I'll have to work up to that one, Paulina. We don't know about that. Work up.
I hope I'm not making it up.
No, that sounds familiar. And you're right when you said that these challenges are the same or the dances are the same. When I was doing our armchair traveling in Ethiopia, they do that. They jump over the ash after a fire, and that symbolizes leaving the old year and the new year. They do it at New Year's.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so and their New Year's is September 11th, so which is so different. And that's another interesting aspect of their culture is that they have a different calendar. But yes, at September 10th at midnight, they will jump over the ash that was
You
burning in
know
the home.
what? I think we should do that this year at least, just to leave it all behind finally. Maybe this is gonna make something change.
Okay, deal. You set the bonfire, I'll be there, and we'll jump over. How's that?
Sure.
Okay, deal. Well, you know what? This has been so interesting. We've actually come run out of time. I can't believe it. Where has this time gone? Paulina, it has been an absolute pleasure just speaking with you and sharing and laughing and learning from you. Oh, but one thing, just to help me and my other dance sisters out, is there any tips for Latin that you'd want to, little nuggets that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, for sure. Whenever you look at your partner or your audience,
Mm,
someone you want to focus your face on, and to make them think that it's a loving look,
Oh.
imagine you're looking beyond them. So right now I'm looking at the camera. Right now I'm looking a little bit beyond, and I have a wall behind.
Hmm.
Then I erase that wall and I look even further beyond. Then I look into an endless field. And this is what our eyes do whenever we're in love with someone. So this is an
Oh.
easy, like, kind of tooled explanation of how to make them feel like that.
Oh, what a nice tip. Okay, so I'm gonna, Chris and Vlad, next time I dance with you, I'm going to not see you. I'm not gonna see the wall behind you. I'm seeing an endless field. Something like
No,
that.
I'm afraid they're gonna think you're truly in love.
Let's
You
go with
were.
that. If it helps our dance performance, I'm all for it.
Oh, but show me your hand. Show me your Latin hand like this. Okay, so the palm is either gonna face the floor or it's gonna face the ceiling. So in this position, the ceiling and the floor. Yeah, then
Okay.
we change. Then in higher position, it's gonna face the floor. So
Okay.
that's why it's a little bit crooked. In other cases, you don't wanna break the wrist. You don't wanna the
Okay.
wrist. Yeah, index fingers being a continuation. So now index finger is a continuation. Then thumb goes 90 degrees down,
Okay.
even more.
Okay.
Awesome. Middle finger is taking an imaginary skirt with the thumb, so it goes down. Now
Okay.
the baby finger goes up all the way. Ring
Okay.
finger just rests. All
Okay.
fingers are stretching away, doing a split. So here it must hurt the skin. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
All of them straight. If you can, like, you have very, very talented fingers, they just so double jointed. Do this, yeah. So make them split and make them crook and make them over split. Just keep stretching this one up a little bit higher. That's it.
Okay.
And whenever you can, articulate your wrist three-dimensionally. Yeah, it can go in an eight figure, otherwise, circle, wave, anything like that. And you
Okay.
can isolate your fingers from one another. So give two precious tips. What's going on? And we're out of time.
Oh, that was just a gem. That's what you call a tea time with Tammie gem. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, it's spasiba. Thank you. I learned sign language just to be able to and Russian to stay with you. So thank you. Perfect.
Thank you.
Spasiba. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. We've had a wonderful pleasure to have Paulina with us today, the Canadian Latin dance champion. And she is as beautiful of a dancer and as beautiful inside, and just a pleasure to speak with. Paulina, have a great evening.
Thank you, Tammie. Thank you for having me.
Everyone, good night.
Good night.